What up, though? It's Skeet Gross. Y'all know what time it is. I told y'all I've been working on some things. I told y'all I was trying to get the visuals together for the Inaudible Ruckus YouTube. That time is here. So welcome to Skeet of the Week, right? On this show, man, it's basically the podcast, but just a shortened version of it, man. I was trying to figure out how can I transfer, you know what I'm saying, the pod and everything we do on the YouTube, right? But I'm like, man, going through trying to edit 2 hours worth of content, I'm just gonna give y'all the abridged version. It's like the Cliff Notes, if you will. You feel what I'm saying? Also, it give me a chance to get off my whole Tonight Show idea, where it's you know what I'm saying, it's more intimate. It's more like a hosting gig. So, appreciate y'all for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe already. If you haven't subscribed on the YouTube, make sure you do that. Also, subscribe on the actual podcast, right? Rate and review on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. Those are the main places. And we got the website, inaudibleruckus.com. Make sure you copy some merch. But before we get off to the Skeet of the Week, man, I just want to let y'all know what y'all going to get yourselves into, man. It's only a handful of topics. Of course, it's going to be some advertisements for some of the stuff that we got going on. And then just my individual take or perspective on things. Plus, I'm going to lace y'all with some game. That's what I always strive to do. And I do want to just share with y'all a little bit, man. It's been a bit of a journey. Y'all know with the podcast, man, we launched the Inaudiverse. We got 6 shows, you know what I'm saying, in the rotation from Monday through Saturday now. And so my thing was trying to figure out how I could come up with the right systems and processes so I could deliver y'all the visuals with the same quality, the same consistency, and the same, you know what I'm saying? That way everything match up. So I finally figured it out. That's what it is. We're about to get into it. It's Skeet of the Week. You ready? You better be. All right, so the 2 main topics, man, because you know we based out of Houston. I'm going to keep it real Houston for y'all. It's H-Town today, right? So we're going to talk about Lizzo and the situation with her, and I'm going to give y'all a bit of a recap from me and Free, what we discussed on episode 381 of Inaudible Ruckus, talking about Travis Scott's new album, Utopia. You feel me? So y'all stick around for that. It's Skeet of the Week. Okay, let's get off and running with this. So, real quick, another thing that I want to incorporate also on the YouTube channel, it's like a little mini series that we got going on, is the Corporate Chronicles, right? So part of me doing that and what I'm gonna try to do on the Skeet of the Week as well is give y'all a little bit of game from the other side of the tracks where I work at as well. You know what I'm saying? By day, I'm a marketing specialist. You know what I'm saying? I have been for the past 12 years. So y'all only see what I do with the podcast and the agency stuff, but my day job, I really be in the corporate boardrooms and stuff, really getting it in, you know. So one of the things that I want to try to do to bring some of that knowledge and insight to y'all is LinkedIn with Low. You know what I'm saying? Where I bring in a career advancement or business tip to help y'all get ahead and where y'all need to be at. Some of it might be major. It may be a topic or something to be discussed. Some of it's just a little gem for you to tuck in your back pocket and use later. You feel what I'm saying? So for this week, LinkedIn with Low, I need y'all, when doing business and all that, learn the time zones. I know it sounds simple, but it makes a whole lot of difference, especially when you out here, content creators, you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing interviews, scheduling, and doing all that. You got to get the times right? A lot of us are used to doing business in our own kind of time zone. I'm originally from Detroit, so a lot of times when I talk to Detroit people, they only know Eastern Standard Time. You tell them a different time, they don't understand. Central Time is an hour behind, or Cali is 3 hours behind. And even when they do, it doesn't quite register. For me, when I worked at a software company, and I was on a team that had 5 different compartments to it. So I worked with everybody. They were scattered across all different time zones. I had 5 different managers. 2 of them was Eastern Time, 2 of them was Central, 1 of them was West Coast Time. And then you come to find out, places like Phoenix, shout out to Phoenix, Arizona, they don't even celebrate daylight saving time. So a certain part of the year, it could be 3 hours behind, and another part of the year, it could be 2 hours behind. I'm just saying that as you schedule in your meetings, you got Zoom calls, conference calls, maybe you're trying to schedule an interview with a celebrity or somebody or a potential guest on your show, and you sitting there waiting 8:30, right? But to them it's 5:30, and then they hit you up 3 hours later because it's 8:30 their time. I remember also when I was working at the radio station, you know what I'm saying, I worked in sales. I had set up a meeting with a potential client. We didn't establish the time frame. You know what I'm saying? He thought 6:30 my time. It was supposed to be 6:30 his time, right? So what I started doing from that, my lesson there was start scheduling put in Eastern Standard Time afterwards or Central Standard Time so that there's an understanding. Now, in most cases, You know what I'm saying? Your calendar will auto-correct it anyway. You feel me? If you put it to Outlook, or if you put it into like your Apple Calendar on your phone, Google or any of that, it'll adjust for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's good to have. That's if y'all using your calendars. But I ain't gonna like beat y'all over the head about that. It's just a tip to help you get ahead in the business sense. You feel me? Now, back to some real game. So this week on the show, we was talking about with Lizzo, the Lizzo situation, some of her former team members or like dancers, people that was down with her, are sending allegations or filing a lawsuit saying that she discriminated against them for their sexual preferences. She was body shaming them, making like little slick comments, doing all types of stuff, right? So naturally, everybody, even myself, we look like, hold on a second now. It's the same Lizzo that's been fighting, you know what I'm saying, and campaigning and championing, you know what I'm saying, plus size women and being comfortable in yourself. There's no way she's being hypocritical and going back on it, right? And doing the complete opposite of what she like was fighting against. We don't know, right? It's still up for speculation. She's come out and denied the allegations, of course, but I want to take it a step further. Instead of just, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up in the he said, she said, it's very possible Lizzo, could be telling the truth, and these people could be making it up as they go. You feel me? Because a lot of times when you're working together, especially in a tight like knit group on a team, sometimes some of these inside jokes and these little things could like be built up, right? And in I said this on episode 381 this week, sometimes the context of how stuff is said can change. You feel me? And so I want y'all to be aware of this, right? So for instance, let's say Lizzo in the booth saying something raunchy or provocative on the microphone for a song. It's cool. Everybody in the room loves it. But if she comes out of the booth and says that same term or says something to somebody like directly, then now technically that could be considered sexual harassment, right? But now we could go along with it in the moment and be like, oh, that was cool, that was funny, ha ha ha. But in the back of their head, they register, all right, if things ever go left, I'm going to use this and say Lizzo sexually harassed me or Lizzo said something inappropriate to me. Now, I can't speak on the craziness that what happened with them when they went to Amsterdam and went on tour and stuff. That's one of those, man, look, you got to know who you be around and who's really like down and who's not down. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I've gotten to the point where I don't really rock with too many outsiders and stuff like that because, you know what I'm saying, people are sketchy and people are a little weird and people will say like they down to like go along or tag along for some stuff and then the whole time they in there either documenting the stuff or they like looking for something to like jam you up with. I'm just saying. Because if they going to Amsterdam, they probably was wilding out, probably looked like they was having a good time with it. Oh, Lizzo, that's funny. Ha ha ha. Okay, Lizzo, whatever you say. And then turning around like, man, that was messed up what Lizzo did, man. Why she had to do us like that? Now, the flip side to that coin, I just wanted to shoot Lizzo some bail because I know I've been a little critical of her on my platform. And not for what y'all think. It's mostly been because, man, I just feel like you on here telling everybody else to be fat and do this and that. Whatever. That's your preference. But all these people who have done that, I'm looking at you, Monique. I'm looking at you, Rick Ross, who, oh, I'm big, oh, I'm fat, so what? I don't care. Then they end up having health complications, and then next thing you know, they show up with the Star Jones, you know what I'm saying, makeover. You know what I'm saying? Big ass head, little flabby body. It's all good to better yourself, but don't be out here sending everybody else down the death march, if you will, and then trying to walk it back. Another example I give y'all is Future. Future's out here was telling everybody drink lean, do pills, and then he turned around and said, oh, I don't even do that stuff like that no more. I had low-key quit a while back, but I didn't want to compromise, you know what I'm saying, the relationship I had with my fans. That's where I'm like, you got to watch that. Okay, now, when it comes to the people side of things, I want to make sure this too. When you're in the industry, and a lot of us are like content creators and stuff, I always joke that I've been in the vestibule of the industry. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple opportunities where I was at least able to have a foot in the door. You're going to see that as a recurring joke if you go listen to episode 381. Stop right now. Go listen. Come back. Feel you. But yeah, you have to stand up for yourself in these corporate settings. I know sometimes we look for opportunities and you get a chance to be with a big name celebrity or somebody and you think like, oh, this is it. I don't want to mess this up or I don't want to do anything to like seem uncool. Still be true to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be your authentic self and you will get more respected in rooms for being yourself than trying to just do whatever just to fit in and blend in, right? Now, sometimes standing up for yourself, I'm going to tell you the truth, standing up for yourself will get you alienated, it will get you isolated, and they might just kick you out. Let's say, hypothetically, You in Hollywood, they doing some weird stuff. You raise up, hey man, what's up with this weird stuff? Hey, get him out of here. You probably got kicked out. You probably won't get to come back. But guess what? At least you won't be implemented in no weird stuff. You feel me? It just is what it is. You got to be ready to like stand in the consequences of it or not, because sometimes being removed from a situation is good for you, even if it don't feel like it. You feel me? So I would just say, and y'all can drop in the comments what y'all think about the Lizzo thing. Who y'all think is lying or who y'all think is telling the truth, man. I'm just want to paint both sides of it. That's what I'm about on my platform, man. I give my take, but I feel like we need more information to understand, but also understand how both sides can see it a different way. You feel me? But yeah. Next thing I want to talk to y'all about, man, because I feel like when it comes to music, we haven't been as, well, it's a little bit harder now because everybody listens to music differently. You know, before, when we was growing up, one album come out, you listen to that all week long, right? Then I think the pandemic kind of changed a lot of people's listening patterns. I know for me personally, working from home more often than not, I don't get a chance to ride around to the car, like ride around in the car and listen to the music to like its fullest capacity. You know what I'm saying? I always personally like to listen to something 3 or 4 times. The first time just to overall just listen, see what I like, catch some of the vibes and stuff. Go back, listen to with a little bit more intention, you know what I'm saying, to the words. The third time I'll probably go back and kind of like listen and feel the sequencing, if that makes sense, even though I feel like that's kind of a first listen type of thing. But like the third and fourth times is like me just going back and really like listening to the context of the words and what if there's some of my favorite songs that I kind of marked on the first 2 times. So, but I feel like a lot of this music ain't worth a second listen. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not even trying to be like the old dude with it or nothing, but I say that to say you have to listen to certain music is not made for certain situations. Some stuff is made for the club and made for outside. Some stuff is made to just like sit and digest and think. I know people think that like all music should be heard the way they want. Like we shouldn't have qualifications on how we listen to music, but unfortunately it is. Like it's got to be that way. I also factor in where the artist is in their career or what circumstances they have going on. Because sometimes if you go back in history for some of your favorite artists, it may be an album or 2 that you was like, this wasn't his best work, or I wasn't really feeling that. Then you watch on the behind the music or like unplugged documentary or something, you come to find out that person was going through depression, the label was fighting them, they didn't really, you know what I'm saying, like the songs, they just went along with it just to hurry up and get it over with because they needed the advance money and they had to fulfill their obligation. Prime example, I'll say, what's my man's? From Wu-Tang, Ghostface. Everybody loves the Iron Man album, but he said that he was in the worst place of his life, like when that album came out. He didn't really like enjoy it the way that he wanted to enjoy it. So I say that to say, you know, like with Travis Scott, he dropped Utopia, and it felt more. Me and Free talked about this on the show, but you'll see a clip of that in a second. But like, it felt more like a playlist than it did an actual album. But when you listen to Travis Scott, you're listening, for me personally, soundscape. Him creating different worlds, blending the different elements, to all the stuff that Kanye be trying to like get y'all to appreciate, but he just like do it all with antics. Travis Scott just come in and just do it, and it be dope. You know what I'm saying? So I would recommend checking out Utopia just if you just like a fan of music, the art of music. Now, substance wise, man, half the time you can't understand what dog's saying. I'm not even gonna like hold y'all up, but the vibe and all of that, it's cool, and I feel like it's a nice little follow up to Astroworld. Now, it's not better than Astroworld, but it's a nice follow-up. Check this out on Inside the Inaudiverse, though. This is a tough question, but I gotta ask, because I know you don't be listening to music. Did you listen to Travis Scott?
Utopia? I actually did. I listened to Utopia.
Right. I don't think I have that, but I'll give you one of these again. Good job. You're doing good.
Hey.
What'd you think of Utopia, man?
I mean, I just had a first listen, you know, one of those first listens you just go through just to hear it. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have an in like a real intentional listen, but from going off it, I thought it was good. I don't think it's really reaching the heights that his last 2 albums had, but yeah, it's pretty good. There are some songs that I really like, but some of the hype around some of the songs, like for example, the Drake song, like this song didn't need to be hype. It's a dope song, but for like, he dissed Pharrell and Pusha T, I'm like, if that's a diss, then we really lowered the bar for what dissing is in 2023.
Right, and then there's other songs on the album that are better,
than that. Now I can't. I'm trying to remember what they, because it was so damn long. Like that was the other thing too. You got like you be flowing.
The songs with 21 Savage were good.
Yep.
The song with Beyonce was decent. I like the song with Future.
I like the song "Thank God" was cool.
Yeah, Thank God
God's
was
Country
cool.
was good. Sirens was good. I did like the song with Beyonce. That one was Del Resto, called Echoes. The songs with The Weeknd were cool.
I didn't know, because those songs just sound like Weeknd songs that he gave to Travis Scott.
So that was it. That was a little clip from Inside the Inaudiverse, and I just want y'all to know, like, as far as the Inaudiverse is concerned, that's my podcast network. Started off with just my show, Inaudible Ruckus. Then we branched off. We had the Skeeters. Then we started doing spin-offs with a lot of the co-hosts on there. So E-Ray has Binge Flicks and Chills. Smiles has Music Impulse. Free, we will be launching Blurs in the Trap coming soon. And then E-Ray, BA, and A-Dub also have Let Me Book the Territory, which is a wrestling pod. You feel me? So, and then Neezy and I, go follow her at Naturally Nay on YouTube, subscribe to her page. We got the Skeeters. That's our married pod. So I'm giving y'all different styles and different flavors and stuff, man. And I really want to continue to, like, use the platform as an opportunity to give people topics and information that they can relate to. You feel me? Like, everybody, like, we got TV shows and movies that we watch, and I feel like a lot of times when you get online, you're arguing with a bunch of people on takes for stuff that they never even seen. You know what I'm saying? You watch a show and you're like, hey man, I really like this show. Oh, well, I couldn't really get into it. So why'd you comment on it? So that's why we created shows like Binge Flicks and Chill, to be able to, like, we agree on a movie or a show to watch, and we come on and kind of break down, like, our thoughts on it. The Music Impulse is for highlighting up and coming artists as well as, like, music reviews, so shout out to Smiles on that. And then Blurs in the Trap is because I feel like the more with the Marvel franchises and DC, a lot of us from the hood is able to go back to, like, our roots, where, like, before it was considered uncool or whatever to be fans of comic books and like, you know what I'm saying, Spider-Man and Batman and all that stuff. And it's like now it's popular now, so it's like we can, like, get back into our bags on that stuff. And there's a segment of the world where it's like of black nerds, you feel me? So I definitely think that there's an opportunity there. Y'all make sure y'all check that out when it drops. And then the Skeeters, like I said, to promote marriage and togetherness, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what me and Neezy do. We be on there cracking jokes and having real honest dialogue. So make sure you check those out. Now, before we get up out of here, man, I want y'all to hold me to it, man. I'm looking forward to doing these for y'all every week as an accompaniment to, like, the main podcast. And so I'm trying to get my YouTube up. So make sure you like this, you know what I'm saying? Share it. Let everybody know, man. Tune in every week for Skeet of the Week. It's Inaudible Ruckus. Motherfucker.